Hey, what's up, YouTube? My YouTube family. I'm back with another video. This is your host, Wayne Chappelle of the Wayne Chappelle channel. Once again, I always like to say that, this channel has my name on it, but it's not about me. It's about you guys. It's about the YouTube community that I'm building. And I'm here to provide answers and solutions, at least to my best capacity. I believe that creating this conduit and providing this platform, a lot of the ideas and solutions are going to come from you all, from the community. We're all going to be sharing knowledge on this platform. I'm just simply hosting and providing the means to do so. So, once again, this is Wayne Chappelle channel. This channel is about you guys, and I'm coming to you with another video. This one is, a little bit more of elaboration on exams. Again, for those that don't know, I am a licensed real estate broker here in Atlanta, Georgia. I've been licensed for 13 years, a little over 13 years now. And I'm also a multi-state broker. I'm licensed in 4 states throughout the Southeast. And, the topic of this video is about the exam. So the question that I get asked, and I guess the problem that a lot of people getting into the real estate industry and people that are in the real estate industry seem to be in fear of is real estate exams, right? So, those who are have successfully passed the real estate exam, they're in real estate, they're doing real estate, actively or what have you. What's the next step, right? So, if you're in Georgia like me, what's the next step to be, right? Next step is to become a broker. And, you have to put in your time and grade to make that happen. But you do have to pass, have to go through a whole another series of tests and pre-licenses. You have to do your pre-license to become a broker. You have to pass the school exam, and you have to pass the state exam all over again. So, you have a lot of or real estate salespeople that have been licensed for, years. I'm talking 20, 30 years as a salesperson here in Georgia. Who never ventured out to take the broker test, and I can't say this for everyone, but excuse me, for a lot of people, it's the fear of, having to go take another real estate exam. And, it's the fear of failure. And, I can tell you for me personally, in Georgia, I started the process out, as a real estate salesperson. I have a salesperson license, and I went back and got my broker's license. And I was in the same position for a while because it took me, years, over a decade to transition from a salesperson to become a broker. And one of the biggest hurdles and challenges for me was I did not want, to fail. I didn't want to fail that broker's exam. So I just put it off and put it off to, one day I just, put that goal on my board and said, hey, I'm going to make this happen. And, usually when I put a goal on my official board, it has to get done. I'm going to be staring at it, and, it's going to eat me up until I get it done. So I put that on my board to get, as a major accomplishment that had to get done was to become a broker in Georgia. And, I started the process of going back through pre-license, broker pre-license, and then, going to take the school exam, which, I wound up passing the school exam, and then, ultimately passing the state exam to become a broker here in Georgia. And, a lot of people ask me, because I'm licensed in multiple states, those who are sales, persons here that have a salesperson license, hey, how was it? How was the broker exam for Georgia? And I've always encouraged people to, hey, there's nothing stopping you but you from going back out and getting your broker's license. You've been licensed in Georgia as a salesperson for, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years. And, what are you doing? Go out and get your, associate broker's license if you're going to be, still affiliated with a brokerage. So, I've highly encouraged and persuaded people to go out and do that, and they realize that once they did it, they come back and thank me, for, hey, give them that push and and that little bit of effort to and support to go out and make that happen, and they're much happier now that they have. And I've even had people that went out and failed the broker test, going out and doing it the first time around, and some even the second time around, and having to go back through the whole pre-license again to get that done. But eventually they became a broker here in Georgia, and they are quite happy with their new success in being a broker versus being a salesperson. So for me, what was my next step? I had to put on that board of action. I have a board, and maybe one day I'll share it in one of my videos, but I have a board of action. When I put that on that board and I'm staring at it, it's like a vision board. That for me has to get accomplished. Otherwise, it's just going to eat me up. So next was, fairly easy. So I'm already a broker in Georgia. So the next was to become a broker in multiple states. So what's the path of least resistance for me was South Carolina, being that I had reciprocity from Georgia. So I was filling out, an application, doing some paperwork, paying some fees, application fees to become, a broker in Georgia. So I'm expanding my reach now. So that's what I did. I didn't have to take an exam to do that. But if you watch my other videos, to become a broker in North Carolina, which is what I did next, I had to, face that exam. I had to stare down that exam and conquer it. Now, fortunate for me that I was already licensed in Georgia and South Carolina, but that really doesn't play into effect. I was licensed in another state, let's just put it that way. For me, Georgia and South Carolina. But, I only had to I didn't have to do any pre-license in North Carolina. I didn't have to go back through pre-license. All I had to do was pass a state portion of the real estate exam, which is, the North Carolina piece. So with that being said, let me do this real quick because we're about to run out of power on my phone, and I don't want that to happen in the middle of my video. So there we go. I just saved my video before it shut down on me. So continuing on. So what I had to do at that point was pass that state exam. And, I'm not going to lie, I sat and I failed miserably, right? I failed that state exam the first go around. And I had to go back, had to restudy, and had to get that done. Now, I will say that I didn't go to, a school or anything like that to help me pass that state portion. I did that all from my own research online, pulling information from various sources to get the information I needed to study from, my study material. So, to be quite honest, the information that I gathered the second time around was more than sufficient to pass the state exam for North Carolina. And, you never know what your final grade is once you pass, but you do know what your grade is when you fail an exam. But once you pass,